Welcome to another Instagram, YouTube, school live. I appreciate it if you guys are watching this for all things online business. And today we're going to be talking about sales calls, SPIs, KPIs. Why do I keep messing that up? This is the second time. What's going on? Anyway, but I appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe because we put videos out like this, literally everything about online businesses and how to get to your 10K business as soon as fast as possible. And if you need our help, just click the first link in the description. And if you're watching us on Instagram, literally comment start, do your thing, click the link in the bio, do your thing. I don't know what to tell you. Bada bing, bada boom. We're in the call now. All right, cool.
Bada
Let's
bing,
talk
bada
about it.
boom, whoop whoop. Let's hit it. Boom. So let's talk about sales KPIs, right?
Let's do it.
So for those of you who don't know, KPI stands for key performance indicator. So really, if I overall everything guys got to understand as a business is nothing more than a collection of numbers, right? So if your
Hmm.
numbers are trash, you're gonna lose. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how good your
You're
product is.
gonna
If you're not,
lose.
you're gonna lose. You're gonna be a loser. So if you want to be a winner, let me show you how to do it. So basically, what you want to do is you want to make sure that these key performance indicators are within acceptable range. And every single piece of your business has this. When it comes to outreach, what your KPIs are, what that are important, your KPIs when it comes to Facebook ads, your KPIs when it comes to client retention. And one of the biggest things in your business, obviously, is sales, because if you can't sell anybody, you'll be broke. So
Facts.
we can just walk through very simply the KPIs that you'll need to understand, the exact numbers that you'll need to have, right?
The
So
Zach number?
the
No.
exact number. The exact numbers you need to have, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. But basically, so the most important thing or the first thing you're gonna have in sales is show rate. As the amount of people that show up to the sales call. So if no one shows up, you can't sell them. So that's the first thing when it comes to show rate is in sales. The next thing you're gonna have to, of course, is close rate, right? Close rate. So basically, you want to figure out the percentage of people you actually close. Very simple. Now, what you want to do is you also there's other percentages you can go into it. You can go into a pitch rate, which is saying what percentage of people do you get to the actual pitch? What percentage of people do you actually go and actually get to the objection handling? And basically, when it comes to sales, it's also a lot about what you do at the end of the sale to kind of make sure that you at least follow up or at least close. So basically, those are the simple KPIs. Connect rate. What's good? So Sam Solari, connect rate. What do you mean by connect rate? That's a good question. What do you mean by connect rate? I'm assuming that means show rate because we did talk about the show up rate. Because we did talk about the show up rate. If anything, yeah, put in the chat. What do you mean by connect rate? Well, we'll give you a second to respond. Okay, cool, cool, no problem. Exactly. So basically, for sales, right, you want to have a show up rate of at least, at the very least, 50%. Now, a 50% show up rate is bad, right? So we say people connecting on a call. So do you mean like I think you mean show up rate? Yeah, show up rate, exactly. So show up rate is 50%, right? That's the bare minimum. Now, ideally, you want to have a 70% show up rate, but that's good, but 50% is acceptable, right? Now, when you have these KPIs, what you got to realize is a lot of people, when they do these businesses, they don't realize that these just increasing your KPIs by a small percentage will drastically increase your business. So if you increase your show up rate by, let's just say, 10%, that means you're talking to an extra 10 to 15 people a week, which means that's an extra 5 to 6 sales calls closed per week if those numbers are right. So my point is like KPIs are very important and they're the nitty gritty that raises your business and make sure things are great. So show up rate, you want to have at least 50%, ideally 70%. Close rate, you want to have at least 20%. That's very bad, but that's like the bare minimum. If you ideally you want to have around a 35 to 40%. Ah, I see. So basically, so that's no, he means yeah, people responding. So basically like response rate. So that's a response rate. That's not really a KPIs in sales, but we can talk about that. So basically like when it comes to connect rate or it depends on the outreach you're doing, right? So cold email has a different cold email has a different connect rate or response rate. Cold DM, SMS, so it's really different depends on what you want to do, bro. Like honestly, a rule of thumb, you want to have at least a 10% overall, but it just depends on what outreach you do. So just for example, for cold email, we have a reply rate. Yeah. For cold email, we have a reply rate of around 35%, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. You want to have around at least a 30, so that's good. With cold SMS, we had about a 10 to 20% actual response rate. And with cold DM, I don't even know what's our response rate with cold DM. I don't even know what it is. Mm-hmm. 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 Exactly. Exactly. Mhm. Exactly. So that's kind of what you want to do. 35% is so awesome. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. The way we do it is we do it manually. We have people on our team who do it manually so that we can actually go under the issues when it comes to deliverability for cold email. But yeah, so that's why our response rate is super high. But bro, like I said, is it Sam Solari? Yeah, Solari, bro. Like, I mean, tell you, bro, I feel like you'd be a good fit. If anything, we should hop on a call later and we can talk more about how we do things and kind of see what type of agency you do, dude. I think that could help. But basically going back to it, dude. So the sales KPIs, show up rate, you want to have at least 50%, ideally 70. You want a sales call closing rate of 20%, at least ideally 40. And there's different percentages of going through the call. When it comes down to it, like you want to be able to get to at least a certain pitch. Like the pitch rate, as in getting to the pitch, that should be like 70, 80%. There's no reason why you should be able to pitch people on the call when they're already there. Object, yeah. Mhm. 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 Exactly, exactly, 100%. So we want to settle that, and then basically you want to be able to track everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you guys how we track our sales calls and our situations. So let me actually show it to you and share my screen. Give me 1 second here. We go to sales here. Let me go to IVD sales tracker so we can track the sales. So in the sales tracker, what we do, let me see, where is that? There we go. Boom. So let me actually share my screen and show you guys what it looks like. Beautiful here. And if you guys want to see this as well on in the IG Live, this specifically is only for our people in our scroll group. So yes, indeed. We should join the school group. But yeah, so basically this is what it looks like. So can you guys see my screen? Awesome. So basically, this is exactly what it looks like when it comes to it. So let's go to some sales tracking numbers. If we go to, I think it was July. Awesome. So this is what our sales tracker looks like. So it's very, very simple. Now we have, of course, track every single KPI that's important to us, and every single number we put into the KPI system gets tracked at the top here. We track conversion rate, revenue, cash, bookings, calls, deals. So it all comes together. So what I want you guys to also realize is that KPIs from the beginning of your business affect the end. So like if your marketing system is trash and then people aren't showing up on the call, that could be a marketing issue as opposed to a sales issue. You know what I'm saying? So every KPI feeds into each other. So that's number one. Now, number two, you can see here that all these numbers here, all these people are people that we sold, right? For the month of July. So we track the date, the name, of course, the source where the call came from. We track if they actually booked a call, the outcome. Now, the outcome is different. We can track if we sent them an offer and they didn't buy, if they had a no show, or if we actually closed them. And also, we also track a couple of things as well. If they actually put a deposit down and they actually came back, or they didn't put a deposit, or they rescheduled. So we track every single thing there so we know exactly what we could do. Then we track the revenue we got from them and the cash collected from them. We track if they actually if we sent them the offer. So if we told them the offer and pitched them, then we track, of course, a couple of things here. So we track the emotions, right? So in sales, basically you have to make sure that sales is transfer of emotion. So if you're feeling uncertain or worried or you don't feel confident in what you do, or any case may be, it will affect your sales. So we want to actually write down our sales feelings on the call so we understand what we went wrong with so we can kind of make it better. Then we also mentioned the objections that they had, and we give them a call summary. So here we always record all of our calls. We record them to make sure that we have it for future reference and just for legal reasons. So we have this here as well. So that's basically exactly how we track everything there. And the KPIs are up here. So we track total revenue, show up rate, bookings, and everything like that. So our show up rate for the system was actually 73%, which is actually great. That's the number you want to see, right? So that's kind of it basically when it comes to tracking the KPIs or understanding sales KPIs are pretty simple. hmm Specifically. Yeah. I see just KPIs in general, like all KPIs, I feel. hmm 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 Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. So basically, when it comes to tracking everything, like I said, your close rate should be around at least 20%, at ideally 40%. Like I said again, you want to make sure your show up rate is at least 50, ideally about 70. You want to make sure that you're getting people through the entire call, no matter what. You're pitching people, tracking that, and just making sure that everything is in line. Because if one thing's out of whack, you need to understand why it's out of whack and how to read these KPIs to make the correct changes. It's just like if you want to lose weight and you're like, why am I losing? Why am I like I'm losing weight, but I'm also losing muscle? Or if you're losing muscle, that's probably because you're not eating enough protein. So you have to track how much protein you're eating. It's the same thing, same exact thing, bro. Everything's the system. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. It's basically literally it. hmm My goodness. Okay, Eminem. Okay, Eminem. My KPIs dropped. Someone called the cops, but hmm sounds good. See you guys.